Good morning, students. Welcome you to the topic Ranga's marriage. It's a lesson from class 11 supplementary textbook. It is written by Masti Venkadesha Iyengar. I am Sujesh Kumar, PGT English, JNV Chikmagalur. Dear children, this lesson is from your supplementary lesson. Actually, supplementary lessons are meant for extensive reading. It is not something to be taught, but considering the examination, we are to go in detail. Okay, are you ready? Let me begin. First of all, we will go in detail with the author. A brief introduction about the author, Masti Venkadesha Iyengar. He was born in the year 1891, 6th June. Moganahalli, Malur Taluk, Kolar district, Karnataka. Died on the same date, 6th June 1986, at the age of 95 at Bangalore. His pet name is Srinivasa Masti. Occupation, by profession, he is a professor and he is also a writer, and later on he is graduated to the post of district commissioner. Nationality India. Genre fiction. Subjects Kannada literature. Literary movement Kannada literature Navodaya, new birth, that is Navodaya. Okay, children, before we go to the story, let us see the story in a nutshell. Something very brief, a synopsis of the story. The story revolves around the narrator Shyama, that is author, and his young neighbor Ranga, who returned from Bangalore to Hosahalli after finishing his studies. Shyama tries to arrange marriage between Ranga and Ratna, daughter of Ramarao. He tries a few tricks to organize a surprise meeting in which Ranga falls in love with Ratna. He fools Ranga by telling him that Ratna is a married woman. Ranga feels sad at this information. Later he comes to know that Ratna is unmarried and asks for marriage at the end. And in the end, both of them get married and name their first child Shyama, which was also the name of the narrator. So the entire story revolves around four characters. The first is Ranga, the protagonist, and Ratna, an 11-year-old girl, and narrator Shyama, and at the last, the astrologer Shastriji. So children, let us go in detail with the character, because without characters, a story cannot be woven. Characters in the story. Ranga, the protagonist. What do you mean by protagonist? The hero, the protagonist. The villain is the antagonist. But here there is no villain. Okay? The protagonist, the hero of the story is Ranga. He is the son of the village accountant who was the first to be sent to Bangalore for higher education. Okay? Ranga is a very well-mannered and educated young bachelor, a good boy who should get married as he would be the perfect husband for his wife. He is also gullible, easily believing by nature, and gets tricked by the narrator into marrying Ratna. He respects the elders and, unlike others, he possesses good values even though he has lived in the city. So children, it's very clear the protagonist's name is Ranga. What is his speciality? He is a man of good values and respect, and he has been sent to Bangalore for his studies, or we can say he's the first one to learn something in English out of his village, right? And having good mannerism with this boy, the narrator Shyama wanted him to get married with a girl named Ratna, and he could be of good service to the society. The second main character is Shyama. Shyama is the narrator of the story, that is Ranga's marriage. He is an old and experienced man who has more faith in traditional belief than Ranga's modern notions. Notions here mean ideas. He manipulates Ranga in such a manner that he ends up marrying Ratna, an 11-year-old girl, in spite of his notions about marriage. Actually, Shyama is the narrator of the story. What is his main intention here? He wanted Ranga be married with a young girl of 11 years old, whereas the protagonist Ranga has his own vision about marriage. Okay, that we will go in detail. Okay. The third character, Ratna. Ratna was Ramarao's niece. Actually, she is an orphan in the sense she lost her parents and is living with her uncle Ramarao. She was just 11 years old. She lived in a big town and had come to live at his uncle's home in Hosahalli after her parents' death. She was quite pretty and had many qualities. She could play the veena and harmonium. She could also sing. So it's a brief detail about this character. So you have to remember, Ratna is 11-year-old girl. She lost her parents, living with her uncle, and she's pretty, beautiful by look, and her specialty is she knew how to play veena and harmonium. Not only that, she can sing melodiously. Is it clear? Now we'll go to the fourth character, that is Shastri. I told you already, in the nutshell, we have come across that he is an astrologer of that particular village, and here the author, the narrator, tutors this man, Shastri, all about his intention to make Ranga get married with Ratna. So Shastri is the village astrologer who plays a vital role in arranging Ranga's marriage with Ratna. He tells Ranga about his liking for a girl whose name matches something found in an ocean, like Ratna, and he is able to convince Ranga that he would be able to marry that girl. So that is his role. He's making Ranga believes that he will be getting the girl Ratna. Okay. So before we come to the story in detail, let us go through the important events or the key points. Okay. The first key points is about the title. Here the title is not a fancy title. Okay. Just like the author says that he can very much write Ranganatha Vijaya, Jagannatha Vijaya, Girija Kalyana, Jagannatha Victory, Girija's Wedding. All these fancy titles are there, but he is not after such a fancy titles. He wants to tell the story of Ranga. So it is all about Ranga's marriage. It is all about the marriage of Ranga, the accountant son of Hosahalli village. Right? So title part is over. Now the second key point is, or the main point is, the village. That village in South India, and it is not mentioned in the geography book. The cartographer, the one who makes map, has forgotten this small isolated village. Okay, it is situated in Mysore state. The specialty of this village is the doctor there named Gundabata, and the author also highlights Karigadabu, a delicious sweet available in that village, and also the mango tree that has a soaring fruit, the mango, and if you bite on it, the soreness will reach on your Brahmarandra, and it also gives some throat infection. When you eat that mango raw, that white liquid comes out of mango will cause trouble to your throat. Okay, actually the author is digressing from his main topic, that is Ranga's marriage. So he wants to highlight the importance of his village, and especially the doctor, the mango tree, and the creeper that is found in the what you call pond, village pond, and there are flowers, and also the leaf can be used for serving food. And he says the best way to know a place is to visit the place. So he is welcoming people, including you children, to visit his village. He is saying just drop a line. So before telling the real story, he gives a detailed sketch of the village he belongs to. Okay, is it clear? Now next important point or event is Ranga's homecoming. As I told you already, Ranga has been sent to Bangalore for studies. So it was 10 years ago that he went Bangalore for his studies. Few people knew English then. Actually here author or the narrator gives importance to the language English. Actually it is a remote village where people speak only Kannada. The chauvinism towards Kannada only. But having educated, Ranga can speak very much in English, and nowadays after 10 years time, now people are using English in their communication. When they talk in Kannada, they plug in some Kannada, English words as well. That is the new trend and style. So those year when it was 10 years back, people do not know much English. Okay, so Ranga's arrival is a big event. It is a homecoming, like warriors coming after fighting and coming to their native with victory. The same way Ranga is coming to his village with victory, having graduated. Okay, and villagers have flocked together to see if there is any change with him. They all throng together to his house. Okay, it could lead to tragedy also, but nothing happened. And among the spectators, our narrator Shyama was also there. A narrator was among them, eager to know if Ranga has changed. And the main interest of the people is to see, they wanted to know whether Ranga has got some changes with him. But there was no much change. An old lady among the crowd wanted to feel whether he has got the that holy thread worn by the Brahmins, Janavera, on his chest, and she was happy that it was there. And when they found that there was no much change with Ranga, finally what they did, they all melted away. They all disappeared except the narrator, because narrator wanted to continue talking to Ranga alone. So narrator stayed back, asked Ranga how he was after exchanging pleasantries. What do you mean by pleasantries? Like saying how are you, how do you do? Okay, to strike a conversation we use all these expressions. That is called pleasantries. Okay, now we'll go to the next main point, that is Ranga's view about marriage. What is his view about marriage? Okay, Ranga visited narrator's home with orange. The very next day, after coming back from Bangalore, Ranga goes to author's house with some oranges. That is a tradition in the village. When you visit to your friends and relatives, you carry something, some edible to them, like that. Narrator wanted him to marry and be of service to the society. Actually, the intention of the narrator is to make Ranga marry because he is a good boy. Narrator asked Ranga's plan for marriage. Then narrator asked, what is your view about marriage? And Ranga's view against traditional arranged marriage. He doesn't like the arranged marriage which was in fashion. And he says he should find a right girl, and the girl should be admired by him, and she should be mature. So, dear children, please remember there are 3 points. One is the girl should be mature. The other is the girl should be admired by him, and third is she should be the right girl. And Ranga remembers many aged people are marrying young girls, even suckling girls, he says. So he is totally against this kind of arranged marriage, and he has a new notion. When he was in city, he has captured certain ideas, right? So narrator was disappointed. Actually, narrator wanted him to marry a young girl as per the tradition, or as per the prevailing custom of that village, right? So next main point is the narrator's plan. So narrator here decides to make Ranga married. Okay, so determined to get Ranga married, narrator knew Ramarao's niece Ratna, a pretty girl of 11, had come from a big town. Already we have come across that girl has come from a town after having lost his parents, staying with her uncle, and she knew how to play veena and harmonium, had a sweet voice. Okay, she lost her parents and lives with her uncle Ramarao. And narrator thought that Ranga was perfect match for her. So dear children, you know now who is Ranga and who is this Ratna, and what is the plan of narrator. And so narrator wanted to make Ranga married, so he prepares a plan to introduce Ratna to him. Shall we continue? Yeah. Ranga's introduction with Ratna, that is the next key point. Okay, narrator visited Ramarao's house frequently. Okay, they are friends, they visit each other. Ratna knew the narrator very well, so asked Ratna to fetch some buttermilk. Actually, author deputes this work to Ramarao's wife to send Ratna to his house with the pretext of collecting buttermilk from his house. Okay, so at the same time he made a call to Ranga as well. So Ranga would also visit the same spot, and by the time Ranga was there, Ratna was singing a song, because the narrator wanted Ratna to sing a song. Meanwhile, he called Ranga as well. Ranga was mesmerized to see her. So on reaching, Ranga could listen to melodious song coming from the narrator's house. So, but on seeing the stranger, Ratna suddenly stopped singing. You will also do, if you are doing certain work, suddenly a stranger comes to your home, what will you do? You will do the same thing, you will stop the work. Okay, so who stopped singing the song? Ratna stopped singing the song. Narrator told Ranga that she was married. Okay, Ranga's face color changed and he left disappointed. Actually, it's intentionally it is done by the narrator to see the expression of the boy Ranga here. Okay, narrator next key point is meeting with astrologer Shastri. Narrator taught everything to Shastri in advance, what he has to speak in front of Ranga, and found no change with Ranga. Ranga has no change of attitude. He's still adamant with the notion of getting a marriage with a mature girl. But at the same time, narrator says that Ranga is not in a good mood, maybe suffering from headache, and motivates him to meet Shastri, suggested him to consult Shastri. Ranga accompanied without any protest. I told you Ranga is a good boy, having got good mannerism and manners. Okay, Ranga accompanied without any protest Shastri made some calculation, declared that a girl was responsible for present state of Ranga's mind. Name was that of something found in the ocean like Ratna. So as tutored, Shastri narrated what's the problem with Ranga and concluded that Ranga's problem is something related to ocean like Ratna, right? Narrator said that Ratna was the name of Ramarao's niece, but she is married. But at the same time, he wanted to pour cold water. So he said, oh, that Ratna may be the daughter of Ramarao's niece, sorry, Ramarao's niece, but she is married, like that. Narrator declared. So it is a disappointing thing for Ranga again. Again, he read the face of Ranga. Then the next key point is a sudden twist. After consulting Shastri, narrator and Ranga were passing by Ramarao's house, and narrator went inside Ramarao's house alone, came out with a surprise on his face. Narrator told Ranga that he was misinformed by someone that Ratna was married. Actually, she was not. So it was a sudden twist for Ranga. Ranga felt much happiness. There was sheen and shine on his face. Sudden brightness on his face could be read by the narrator. Ranga admitted that the prediction of Shastri was true. Then he believed that the prediction of Shastri was true, because Shastri said something like Ratna is troubling his mind, and now he can very much marry Ratna. Thus Ranga and Ratna got married, and after marriage immediately they got a new baby in the home, and that means Ranga fathered a male child and named him Shyama. Why? Because it was a custom in English to name your son with that of a name of a person you like the most. That is an English custom. So children, these are the key points, and I hope I could narrate the story along with these key points. Now you can have a detailed summary of the story here. Shall I read it, or will you read by yourself? If you demand, I may just read it, because it is already, the story is already narrated through key points. Okay. The summary of the story in detail. Ranga hails from Hosahalli, a village in Mysore. Like many other cultural aspects artistically portrayed by the author, the custom of child marriage too is typical to this village. So actually author highlights the way people get married in that particular village, especially child marriage. Okay, that is the traditional or prevailing custom of that place. But Ranga, after getting educated, changed his notions, but he fails a victim to narrator's what you call trap, or you can say the plot. Okay, 10 years age, when the village accountant sent his son Ranga to Bangalore for studies, the situation in the village was different. People never used to use English words while talking in Kannada, their mother tongue, but now they do it with an abominable pride. It is bad pride, very unpleasant pride, we can say. So they feel that including some English words in their mother tongue is a prestige issue, right? So the importance of English language is highlighted. Is a priceless commodity, very valuable commodity according to the narrator. That is also one of the topic for discussion, children. You can also debate upon it. Okay, and people are so fond of the foreign language and education that Ranga's homecoming is made a big affair. We have already discussed when his coming back to his village was celebrated as a homecoming, and people crowding together. People crowd around his house to see if he has changed. They return home on finding no significant change in him. The narrator is particularly happy to find the boy still quite cultured as he respectfully does namaskara, the narrator spontaneously blesses him, saying, "May you get married soon." Actually, I forgot to tell this boy, unlike the present youth, they keep their chest very held high and having no respect to the elders. But here Ranga is not like that. He bends his head to say namaskara, and he even touched the narrator's legs. That is a custom. Okay. But the boy is not ready for marriage. He says he is of the opinion that one should better remain a bachelor than marry a young girl, as the custom at the village is. The narrator is disappointed to hear this, but as he sincerely wants Ranga to get married and settled, he takes a vow of getting him married. So we have already come across that the decision of the narrator and how he devise a plan. Okay, so let me continue reading. He decided to get him married, a young girl of 11 by the name of Ratna, Ramarau's niece, who has of late come to Hosahalli to stay for a few days. Now the narrator plans to make the prospective bride and the bridegroom meet each other. Okay, you know the pretext. What is the pretext? Collecting buttermilk from the narrator's home. He does by asking Ramarau's wife to send Ratna to his house to fetch buttermilk. As Ratna arrives, she is asked to sing. As planned, at that very moment, Ranga arrives and gets mesmerized, captivated, enchanted by Ratna's singing, and almost instantly falls in love with her. Love at first sight, right? But the narrator disappoints Ranga by saying that Ratna is married. So he poured cold water by saying that the girl was married, right? The next morning, the narrator meticulously plots with the Shastri, the fortune teller, to trap Ranga and have him marry Ratna. He tutors him in what is to be said and done when he will bring the boy to him. So we have already come across that, how narrator tutored Shastri what he should tell and to prove that his Shastra is correct, right? Shama asks if there is any chance of negotiation of marriage with Ratna bearing any fruit, to which Shastri answers in the affirmative. Okay, but once again the narrator pours water on Ranga's hopes by saying that Ratna is married. On the way, the narrator enters Ramarau's house and comes out of the house to inform Ranga that Ratna is unmarried and the previous information about her marriage was wrong. Now visibly elated, Ranga's joys have no limits. So we have already come across that. Ranga finally gets married to Ratna and fathers one child. Moreover, Ratna is now 8 months pregnant. That means the second child is in process. The narrator is invited to the third birthday of Ranga's child, and who was named after the narrator as Shama. On finding this, the narrator mildly chides. What do you mean by mildly chides? Scolds for naming such a young, such a fair complexioned boy. That name Shama means something black, Shama. Okay, but it is the English custom. Okay, that saying that he knows that it is the English custom to name the child after someone you like or one likes, but it is not fair to name him Shama because he is fair complexioned. Actually, the boy is fair complexioned. Okay, and the name is not matching, but Ranga says it is an English custom because he likes the narrator Shama. And all said and done, it is interesting to find how Ranga forgets what he learned about happy marriages in cities and gives in, means surrenders to the far deeper influence that the village customs and traditions have on him. And why not? Is it easy to do away with all that one learns so unconsciously day and night in the society one grows up in? Dear children, this is a topic for you. You make a debate on it. That is the contrast between the traditional values and the modern values, or traditionalism versus modernism. Actually, that is the theme of the lesson. So I hope all of you have understood what I explained to you. It is all about the marriage, what you call arranged marriage, the traditional way of marriage being practiced in a particular village, whereas the protagonist wanted to have a modern way of getting married. That means that is love marriage. In other way, we can say love marriage. That means he should admire the girl, and the girl should be mature, and it should be the right girl. So children, I hope all of you understood what I explained, and here is some work for you, homework, assignment for you. Shall I read? The first question is all about comment on the influence of English. We have already discussed it, how people adopting this abominable pride of adding English words into their mother tongue. Okay. The second is write character sketch of the characters of the story Ranga's marriage, and the third is what did Ranga think about marriage? Do you find any changes in his attitude during the course of the story? Yes, there is much change. He was trapped by the narrator. Okay, the fourth one is how did the narrator know that Ranga was really interested in Ratna? How did he manage to get Ranga married to Ratna? Okay, so actually he made a plot, he devised a plan, and accordingly it worked out, and we came to know about it. And the fifth question, who is Ranga? How did the people react when he returned after studying from Bangalore? And the last question, what were the two specialties of the narrator's village? Okay, I hope all I have done justice with my narration, and I could include all the points related to these questions. And thank you children, thank you very much for listening to what I explained, and thank you. Have a nice day ahead. Bye bye.